Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing my everyday go-to look that every time I wear it, somebody's like, what do you have on your eyes? What do you have on your lips? What's going on here? I need to know. So I thought I would film it for you guys. That way it'll be up. So whenever you want to reference back to it, it will be there for you. So if you're interested in learning how to get this look right here, then just stick around. I know this is a look, right? But we're gonna get the hair out of the face. All right, so I'm gonna go in first with my Dermablend. This is a quick fix color corrector concealer. It's a powder form, but actually when you warm it up on the back of your hand, it turns into a cream. It's really cool. So what I usually like to do is just pour it on the back of my hand, and then I'll just tap with my finger and press it underneath my eyes. The orange color is going to cancel out any purple or blue that you have under your skin, like dark circles under your eyes, which are, you know, seem to hang around. So, okay, so I went ahead and got the Dermablend Quick Fix Color Corrector on my eyes. I did go in before I did this and I put some primer on. I am in love with this Bobbi Brown face base. This is like the travel size because I travel a lot, and I really liked it before and I ran out of it and I waited a while to buy it again, and it just smells so good. It's like lemon, like it's so clean, so fresh. So now we're gonna go in with some foundation. You can go in with whatever foundation that you choose, whatever your preference is. I'm a full coverage kind of girl, so I like a lot of makeup, a lot of foundation. So my favorite at the moment is the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie, and I mix it with the Huda Beauty, and we're just gonna go on and slather it on. I'm almost out of the Pure, so I've been taking the top off, which is really cool because it has a doe foot applicator. So if you want to use it as a concealer, you can do that too. So that helps me get all the product out of the bottom. Now we're going to mix a little Hank & Henry, Huda Beauty. You guys can see I got Hank & Henry on the brain. I just got my package in the mail, which I've been waiting for. So this is Huda Beauty, and it's very full coverage. So if you haven't used it before, just beware. I know it looks like a lot because it is a lot, because I have freckles and I want them to disappear. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to take, you can go with any kabuki brush. You can do a sponge, you can do a brush, whatever your preference is. I like to use a brush and I like to press it in because I think it gives it the most coverage. If you use a sponge that's damp, it's going to take away a little bit of the coverage. I like to go back in as well and put a little bit more of the Huda Beauty under my eyes just to give it, to make sure that it is covered, because I don't want these freckles showing through. But this is a totally optional step. You don't have to do this step. You can skip over it if it's too much product for you. And I'm just going to press it back in with that same brush. You want to work with a pressing motion instead of pulling with brushes like this, because if you pull, it's going to swipe and pull the foundation, and that's not the goal here. The goal is coverage, so we want to press it in. And then if you want to, you can go in behind with your sponge and blend any of the areas out. So I just go in with the Beauty Blender and just make sure that's all even underneath my eyes. I don't put foundation on my eyelids because I'm a little bit older and I don't like it to get like in the creases, like it gets all crinkly. So I wait till the very end and kind of put what's left over on my sponge on my eyes. But right now you can see I've kind of stayed away from my eyelids. All right, so now I'm going to go in with the Born This Way concealer. I just started using this, haven't really decided my thoughts. This is in the color Almond. Works pretty good for now. So I'm just going to go in and put some underneath my eyes. This is totally optional as to how much you want to put. I like to drag it up my temples. That way it can help give me a little bit more lifted look. But like I said, totally optional. Trying to look to see if my monitor's cut off on me yet. All right. So got the concealer blended out. I'm just going to go in with the sponge just to tap over to make sure there are no brush marks and everything is blend it out. And I'm going to take what's left over on my sponge and go over my eyelids, just to give them a little bit of coverage so we can make that redness and discoloration go away. All right, so now I'm going to go in and set with powder. This is optional as well. If you have drier skin, you don't necessarily have to set with powder. Of course, my skin is oily, so I like to set with powder, and I like that matte look. I like to do the matte look and bring in the glow as I want to, instead of doing glowy and then my skin looks like a oily mess. So I'm going to go in with the Huda Beauty foundation. I can't get my words together today. Powder. This is in the color Cupcake. And so we're going to go in, and I'm going to take that damp sponge that I used to set my concealer as well, and I'm just going to go in and put some on the back of that sponge, and we're just going to set underneath the eyes. And like I said, if you do have drier skin, you want to just kind of go lighter on the powder. I like a little bit of full coverage, so I go a little heavier on the powder. I'm going to go on my nose. And I leave that there to bake just a little bit while I set the rest of the face. I put a little here, a little there. You can also do... Huda Beauty has very strong smell. I just sucked it down my throat. You can also do a big fluffy brush and use that to put the powder on as well. You can use a pressed powder if you don't want this much powder or a matte look. You can use a pressed powder, and that works really well if you have drier skin. Woo! This powder works, but I tell you, when I say it has fragrance, it has some fragrance. Just like the foundation. I don't seem to smell the foundation as much, but the powder, it's a little bit of kick. So if you're kind of sensitive to fragrances, or your skin is, then I would steer away from basically all Huda Beauty products, because they are so heavily scented. They don't bother me, except for then when I sucked it down my windpipe, but most of the time I can put them on without like literally smelling them like that. So we've got all of that blended in. Now I'm going to go in with some bronzer. Bronzer is very important, people, women, men, everybody, to make sure that, you see how flat my face is right now? Like there's no dimension, no like, there's no anything to it. It's just very flat. So the bronzer is going to bring some life back to my face. So I'm going to go in, this is the Tom Ford bronzer in Tantastic, right here. And I'm going to go in with my Hank & Henry brush. This is the Sandra brush, and we're going to go around the perimeters of the face, and we're just going to warm everything up. I live in the country. Do you hear all the big trucks going down the road outside? There's literally been 4 trucks gone since I've been filming. I'm like, come on, people. Does your truck have to be so loud? That's what I love about bronzer. There's no specific, like, technique that you really need. Like, you just dust it around the perimeters of your face. I also like to put a little bit on my nose because the sun also hits you there. There's hair on my face. So bronzer is done, and now we're going to go in with contour. You can totally skip the contour part if you want to, but I like it. I just like the way it looks on me because I like a lot of makeup. I like to have that contoured look, but the bronzer and just some blush would be totally fine, so you can skip this step. So I'm going to go in with the Park Avenue Princess. This is, I think, a limited edition. I don't even know if they still have it, but they do have the colors that are in here. So the Princess Cut and the Park Avenue Princess colors are really good. As you can see, I love mine to death. So I'm going to go in with 2 of those shades and bronze up these cheeks, contour these cheeks. I'm going to go in with an angled brush. This is a Morphe E4 brush, and I'm just going to take it, and we're just going to start stamping right up through to the temple. So your line of contour is going to be from the top of your ear to the corner of your mouth, but you don't want to go all the way to the corner of your mouth. Well, you can if you want to, but it gives you that more like sunken in look, which if that's what you're going for, you do you. So I'm just going to take this, and I like to stamp it first and then blend. And you always want to blend upwards, because girl, you don't want your face going downwards at all. Alright, so now we've got our bronzer and our contour on, our face is a little bit more warmed up. Now I'm going to go in with blush. I like a lot of blush because blush seems to be the first thing to disappear off your face whenever you're doing makeup. So I do a blush topper, and then a cream blush. You totally don't have to, but I'll show you what I do. since when I wear this look, this is like the most requested look that when I wear this, people are like, would you please do a tutorial on that? Will you please show us what you use? So if I'm gonna go to work, I'll wear this. If I'm gonna go out to eat, I'll wear this. If I'm like not going anywhere, I'll wear this. Like this is just one of those looks that I know every time I put it on, it's gonna be absolutely perfect. And let's hope it's perfect today. So for blush, I'm gonna go in with this Morphe palette here. This is in the color 8W. And I like to mix this shade and then this shade. So this is a blush here, and then this is more like a blush topper, but I mix them together and go pretty heavily on the cheeks. So I'm just going in with the Morphe, just a regular old blush brush, and we're gonna blush up the cheeks. And I know a lot of people, like for placement, will say, you know, smile, put it on the apples of your cheeks, and that is great and all, but I don't walk around smiling all day long, so you can smile, and then when you drop your cheeks, the blush is going to drop as well. So I go a little bit above the apples and into the hairline as well. And if you get too much, you can always go in with your sponge and just kind of blend those edges out. Because it looks good here, but when I look at my monitor, I'm like, dear Jesus, that's a whole lot of blush. So we're just going to blend it out just a little bit, but I promise you it will disappear, so don't panic. So now I'm going to take one of my favorite products of all time, and yes, it is Hank & Henry. I do work for Hank & Henry, but these literally sat on my desk for probably about a month because I'm just not a big blush, like cream blush person. I like to stay with powders. It's more easy. It's like, you know, it's not as intimidating as a cream blush, but this one's a little dirty because my eyelash glue exploded in my bag, so I tried to clean it. But this is the BB Rosa Cream Blush from Hank & Henry. It's the lightest color that they have. It's not showing up as well. It is pink. And I like to take a damp sponge, and I'm just going to go on the top of that, and I'm just going to slightly press it, and it's going to give you that like sheen of almost like having a highlighter, but you didn't put a highlighter on. It's still cream blush, so it has a little bit of color to it, and it's very buildable, so you don't have to be like panicky of being like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so pink on my face. I don't want it to be that pink. Here we go. The next thing I'm going to do is set my foundation. Not necessarily set it, but I'm going to make it like all melt together so it doesn't look as cakey. I like to take the Mario Badescu Rose Water Spray, which is just like a staple. I can't do my makeup without it. So we're going to spray, and I like to do this before I do highlighter. So we're going to pull the hair back a little bit. And we're going to spray. And then we're going to take our sponge, and we're going to pat over the areas just to make sure there's no water spots, because you know how a lot of times the sprayer can like spit, so we don't want to have that on our face. So we're just going to press that in like that. And so now, since our skin is a little bit damp, this is when I like to go in with highlighter, and of course I'm using my go-to, which I need another one because this one about had it, but you can tell a makeup artist loves makeup, the product, when they've hit pan. So I have hit pan on this. This is the highlighter in Glow Bandit from Hank & Henry, and I'm going to go in and use this. I'm going to go in with the Melly brush, also from Hank & Henry, and I'm going to put a little bit on my Cupid's bow, a little bit on my nose, and we're just going to put a little. And then I like to go back in with my sponge and just make sure it's all blended together. All right. So before we get to the eyes, I'm going to jump off camera and do my brows. If you guys want a brow tutorial, let me know and I can like in depth break it down. But everybody has seen brows. It's boring. I hate to do it. I know everybody else hates to do brows. So we're going to get it done and I'll be right back. All right, so eyebrows are done. Wow, what a difference eyebrows can make. So we're going to go ahead and start the eyes. So the palette we're going to be using today is the Going Coconuts palette from ColourPop. And it's a very neutral palette. I'm going to try to cover that mirror up. There's the inside right there. So the last time I went to LA, this is the only palette I took with me for like 9 days. Like, because I knew that I was going to be working and these neutral looks would just be like the best go-to for me. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to take this Beauty Blender and just go over my eyelids just to make sure that there's no creasing. And I'm going to go in with a Sigma fluffy brush. This is an E something. oh, what is it? It's, oh, E40. It's almost rubbed off. So a big fluffy brush. First, I'm going to go in with the transition color, which is important. I'm going to go in with this brown color right here, which is called Lovely Bunch. So if you're just learning how to do eyeshadow, transition colors are important because it's going to help you transition into the next stage. So if you just go in and put a really dark brown shade, it's going to be harder to blend out without that transition color. So we're going to go in with 3 different shades and then with a little shimmer on the top. So I'm just going to dip in, tap the excess off, hello, and I'm going to start in my crease right here, and we're just going to do windshield wiper motions back and forth with that brush. And then whatever's left on the brush, I'll take in the corner right here, the outer corner. All right, so we've got our transition color down, so we're gonna go in with the next color. So usually I like to build from a lighter transition color to the darkest, so the lighter shade to the darkest. So now I'm gonna go in with Shell Yeah, which is this color right here, and I'm gonna do the same exact motions, start in the crease, windshield wiper motions, and then blend out in the outer corner what's left on that brush. All right. So I'm using 3 brushes for this look. You don't have to use 3 brushes. I just prefer it. You can actually just use one. So I have the big fluffy brush and then one that's a little bit tapered and then like a smaller one. So they go down in size like this. So I'm going to take that middle brush and go back into that same brown shade that we just used, that second shade. And I'm just going to deepen up this outer corner. So the best way to do that is to take your brush and press it before you start to blend it. That's going to give you the most pigment. All right, so we built it up in the outer corners. Now I'm going to go in with that smaller brush. Yes, this is clean. I just use it all the time and it just likes to stay stained. So I'm going to go in with this shade at the bottom, this darker brown called Nutty. And we're going to concentrate it on the outer corner, and then whatever's left on the brush, we'll sweep that in the crease. So kind of like opposite of what we were doing. We're going to start in the outer corner. We're going to pack it on first. We're going to press just like this, and then you can start doing circular motions, and whatever's left on the brush, I'm going to carry that into the crease. Not a lot. You want it to be darker on the outside, and you don't have to worry too much about this area right here, like how blended it is, because we're going to put a shimmer shade over the top of it. So you're going to cover up that area, which is great if you're not, really good with blending yet. You're just going to cover it up. Same thing on this side. We're just going to press it in. Now you can deepen this up as much as you like. You can go a lot heavier than this and have some really smoky brown eyes, or you can end it here, or you could have just stopped with the first 2 colors and not even gone in with the brown. It's all preference, but this is the look that I wear, and every time somebody's like, what do you look, what do you have on your eyes? And so I'm like, okay, I will do a video. So here you go. All right. So now that we've got those blended, I'm going to go in with the shimmer shade called Cocoa Crush, the one that's in the center. The best way to use these shades are with your finger because they are a little crumbly. I like to kind of press and get it on my finger like that. And then I go in and press it on that inner corner. And the places that I can't get because of my fingernail, I will go back in with the brush, but I think that it has the most pigment with your finger. And so you will have a little harsh line right here between the shimmer and the brown shade. So just go back in with any of your brushes, it doesn't matter, and you're just going to circular motion right there on the edge. And you might lose a little bit of pigmentation, which is fine. You can always go back in and fix it if you want to. All right, so I'm going to carry this under the lower lash line too. A lot of people don't like shadow on their lower lash line because they're not used to it. So start off with just a little bit, or you can go all ham and smoke it out. So I'm going to add this one and this one on the same brush, and I'm going to run that under my lower lash line. I'm going to take the smallest fluffy brush that I had. I'm going to start on the outside, which is going to have the most pigment, and then blend it in towards the inner corner. And if you use a smaller, more precise brush, it's not going to be as low on your lash line. All right, so now we've got the lower lash line done. Let me check it out in my mirror so we can put that away. So if you want to, I like to put a maroon or a brown color liner in my waterline, just to kind of take away that white inner rim right there. You could also put a cream color if you want to, but I like mine a little bit smoky. So I'm going to go in with the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in Mr. Bing, which got glue all over it from my bag. I hate to pull on my eye, but I don't know how people do it without it. If you wanted to put on some liner here, you could, like on that right there up against your lash line. If you're going to wear lashes, you could do that, but I don't think it needs it. So I'm going to go in and put some mascara on, and I'm going to throw a nude lip on, and we will be right back. Like there's other people here, like I will be right back. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. I went ahead and put some mascara on, and I put a lip on, which my favorite lip at the moment is the Maybelline Nearly There 205. Yes, this is drugstore. It's very nude, but it's like still creamy and glossy, and I like that. And then of course I also have my famous Orlay lip gloss from Hank & Henry. I think this might be out of stock at the moment, but keep your eyes open because you're gonna need it when it comes back in. Like, it is just this like beautiful glossy, like just adds that little extra touch to the top. So yeah, this is the look. So you guys requested it, so here it is. This would be my everyday go-to if I'm going to work, if I'm going out to eat, if I'm going shopping, if I'm not going anywhere. I just might have this on at home. So I know that this is always going to look good, and it's always like going to come through for me in the last minute when I don't know what look to do. This will be one that I pull out. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you don't mind, you can subscribe to my channel down below. You can like this video, give it a comment, give it a thumbs up. You can also turn on your notification bell. That way you will know whenever I upload a video, you will be notified that it's there. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.